Amen. All right.
How y'all doing today?
They're gonna get tired of us with like literally having Beyonce in every episode.
Yeah, is it every
damn episode?
I mean, yeah. If we don't play her,
we talk about her.
We're talking about her.
And if it's not her, then it's Chloe and Haley.
Right, which is Beyonce equivalent. Yeah.
But I wanted to start off with those two songs because number one, Black Parade just came out this weekend and totally gave us our entire life. Beyonce just knows the right time to put something out for the people, for the culture. If you haven't heard it,
and changes the game.
Did she change the game though?
No, because while everybody else was talking about the hardships of it, Beyonce said, "I'm going to lift up people's spirits instead."
Okay, that's how she changed the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it's just like it's just we wait to hear from Beyonce to like do shit. It's
bad. It's actually an addiction.
And I hate that we put so much responsibility on her. Like,
and she probably hates it too.
Right.
Like if she's honest, she probably like, I want y'all to leave me alone.
Right.
So here's a song.
Right.
For y'all to just chill for a second with.
And then the acapella.
Yeah, she released an extended version.
Yeah.
Then she released an acapella of the song, exclusively the title. The acapella is amazing. The background vocals are crazy. Just if you haven't heard it yet, go listen to it.
Yeah, please.
Black Parade by Beyonce, produced by Derek Dixie, who is her music director for Homecoming.
Yeah.
He's a genius. And
he's insane.
Yeah.
He's insane. He's such an out the box thinker
exactly.
of a music director and producer, and he just knows what's going to drive the heartbeat of people.
Exactly.
It's really crazy.
And then after Black Parade, we played kind of a newish song, but not really. It's just that you guys never heard it before.
Right.
Our crew, we go by a lot of different names.
Yeah.
Originally, we were going by Reckless Abandon.
Right.
And it included a lot of us. A lot of us have kind of moved away and kind of parted off and doing our own things right now, but the core of us is still very much alive and together. And 4 years ago, when Lemonade first came out, we decided to do a cover of Freedom. And we recorded it, authentic. Lenny, KT, Toy, and myself, we recorded it, but we just never got around to putting it out. And then that was 4 years ago. And honestly, I don't think anybody was thinking about it because we didn't think that we would need to put it out.
Right.
And then lo and behold, 4 years later, they start killing us again. Yeah. So,
they ain't really never stopped.
It just, this time it was like, there was no denying it. There was no not paying attention.
Right.
And, we were all talking about,
It started with Authentic going down memory lane.
Yeah, because Authentic, he started posting stuff from the Reckless Abandon project.
The Black Lives Matter project that we did 4 years ago.
Yep. That the entire crew was on.
5 years ago, actually.
5 years ago, yes. That the entire crew was on. Each one of us had a song on the project just to kind of give a voice to what was going on. And he started posting some of the songs. And he was actually able to get his job to play his version of Someday We'll All Be Free.
Yeah, which was awesome.
Around the job on the video screens and everything like that. And really, really dope that happened.
Yeah.
And then we started talking about it, and I was just like, maybe we need to kind of revisit those songs.
Right.
And really, do something. And lo and behold, I started upgrading my studio and getting some new equipment and some new toys and stuff. And I was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and give Freedom a new mix. And it hit harder than it did when we first recorded it. Like, to the point where we were like, we all had an emotional moment with the song. Mm-hmm. So we decided to put it out. And it is available now. We kind of rushed it. Didn't really promote it properly, but it is available now on the Reckless Abandon Bandcamp. If you want to get a copy, please go to my link in my bio. It'll take you right there to Bandcamp. And anything that is purchased from there for the song, we are going to collectively donate that money to causes that support Black Lives Matter.
Right.
As well as, any of the other causes that are going on that support the movement, basically.
Right.
So please, you can pay $1 if you want to. You're able to pay more if you want to.
Right.
So any little bit helps.
Right.
But that money is not going to us. It is going to those organizations.
Right.
And we will show you receipts if we need to.
Okay.
We not playing.
Right.
So that's why we opened up with those 2 songs. And I'm glad that we did that. This past weekend was Juneteenth. And I tell you, I had the most fun that I've had in a long time.
It was great to see faces. It was great because, everybody's been quarantining. So it was cool to be in the midst of your family. You know what I mean? And just and love on them and have deeper conversations than what we've had in a very long time. And just enjoy some good food.
Yes.
Our girl Billy.
Shout out to Catching Crabs.
What?
Oh my God. She hooked us up.
Laid out, and everybody knows I'm vegan. She laid out some vegan options that was killer too, and it was just it was amazing. It was really a beautiful time.
Shout out to my friend Tamaya. I went to go visit her. She's my play sister. Her son is my godson. I love him, and I went to go hang out with their family. Her mom cooked, and I mean to the point where I wanted to fight her. The food was that good. And then on Saturday, before we went to our Juneteenth shindig, my coworker had one in Linden, just to kind of see some of us that we hadn't seen in months since we've all been working from home. And that was really cool. I was only there for a minute, but it was really good to see everybody. So shout out to them. It was a packed weekend. Sunday, I ate the rest of the food that we had from KT's.
You did?
I did.
You did?
It was a whole thing of crab legs, and I ate all of them.
Yeah. When I tell you, this one right here is addicted to some fucking crab
and
legs.
I need to stop. It's bad. It's bad. But I feel like that's what God has for my life. And especially the fact that I'm afraid of spiders. If I see a live crab, I will run in the opposite direction. Right. Because I don't like the legs.
But let it be laid out. And
with some butter and some Old Bay. I'll crack them jokers open and go all the way in. I don't have no shame.
Fear is instantly gone at that point. It's
although yesterday, not yesterday, Sunday, when I was trying to reheat them, and I was just looking at the legs in the pan, I was like, y'all are alive. I can feel it. They're alive and they're trying to get me. It's it's crazy. But no, Juneteenth was actually really dope. A lot of people, more so than I think ever probably before, celebrated Juneteenth this year.
It was a collective energy around, especially around the States. You know what I mean? Because there were some people, I had some friends that were in other countries that were celebrating it just in solidarity, which I thought was really cool. But in the States, you felt that. Aside from constant fireworks in the middle of the damn night, but you felt that energy. You felt like everybody was enjoying the weekend. Yeah.
It felt very black.
Yeah. What?
It was very black, very fun. We had some deep conversations about our communities, about what's going on in the world. We even had some dope conversations about life and relationships between people, and it was a really dope time to just connect.
Really dope.
I'm glad that we were able to do that. And we try our best to practice social distancing, but sometimes when the family get together,
you need a hug.
You need a hug.
You need to love on your family. So, and
that's we wasn't around 100 people or nothing like that.
Right.
But we did our best.
Right. Hugs were passed, and that's just what it is.
Yes. Hugs were passed.
Nobody's gonna tell me I can't love on somebody. That
exactly. So it was a dope weekend, and let me just get this out the way before we even get into our topics. So I can say it now and then we'll say it again at the end of the show.
Okay.
Next week is our season finale.
Woo woo!
That will make it 11 episodes that we did this season.
Word.
And it's crazy because it didn't seem like it.
It really did.
It really didn't seem like it. But we were consistent. I don't think we took a week off.
No.
We did not take a week off.
There was nothing that got in the way. The only thing that happened was on one day we had a time change.
Yeah, we had to push it back a little bit.
And that was for whatever.
Yeah.
But...
Oh, that's when they were fighting the bees in the house.
Yeah.
Okay. So, other than that, we've been consistent. You guys have been consistent with watching. and interacting with us. And
we so love you for
we
it.
really, really appreciate that. Because y'all could be watching anything else, you could be doing anything else, but you're here.
Right.
So we have some really special things planned for next week. We're trying to get some things going. You can't see it right now, but we're surrounded by some equipment that, we're going to try to make sure that it's working by next week. We have a special thing that we're going to do for each other.
Word.
And then, we might even invite somebody to come on into the chat and, onto the live and say hi or something like that. Anything's possible.
Word.
So yeah, it's going to be fun. Next week is going to be fun.
It's going to be a dope season finale.
We're going to get dressed.
Okay.
I would also ask y'all to get dressed in Gussie.
Are we
getting Gussie? It might be hot. I don't know if we're going to get Gussie.
Yeah, all depending on the weather.
If it's hot, t-shirt and jeans.
Because we here in Jersey, listen.
Yeah.
It's been having a little steam coming off the ground. Yes. And I don't know what this is about. And it just got to summer. I didn't even get to the depth and heart of summer yet.
Exactly. Oh my God.
So July going to be a beast.
I'm not here for it. I was born in the summer and I hate it.
I don't mind the heat.
I love the fall.
But
give me coats.
I don't like when it get too when the humidity be like drying you out.
Yeah. Passing out, walking up the stairs. And I'm on the 3rd floor, so
heat rises.
I tell everybody when I move again, 1st floor.
Right.
I want no stairs.
Right. I know
so
that's right.
It'll be 86 degrees. You better know what the weather is like for next week, sir. Okay?
Come on it, Chef. Yeah, the fall is the dope season. Because you can layer just enough.
Exactly.
And
give
be
me my
fly.
coats, give me my 2 shirts, give me jeans, and give me dope fly sneakers.
Pamela said it's been hot down where she is too in Florida.
This is also true. Ty said, I love the fall and winter. Me too. That's the most fashionable seasons in the world. I love it. So, our topics for today.
Boom, boom, boom.
I would like to talk about... Oh, don't hurt yourself.
I'm sorry.
I would like to talk about something that has been a topic that I think we've touched on in quite a few episodes, but we never really dove deep into it. We talk about the divisiveness that happens within the Black community.
We're going to start there.
Yes,
okay.
we're going to go right into it. And I'm not sure if anybody knows, recently this past week, it almost seems like every week something goes down that we have to talk about.
Yeah.
Like sometimes people can't just sit down and shut the hell up.
Yeah.
But so last week, there's a girl by the name of No Name, and she is a former rapper and turned activist. And apparently she put up a tweet where she said that, I'm paraphrasing, but she basically was saying like your favorite rappers have whole albums about the community, but they haven't said a word yet about what's going on in the community. And when you think about it, there's really only a handful of rappers that are going to make comments like that, either in their music or on social media. And that would be J. Cole, that would be Kendrick, that would be Beyonce, that would be Jay-Z, and that would probably be like maybe Rhapsody and maybe Common.
Mm-hmm.
And that would pretty much be it.
Mm-hmm.
So, however, the way that she worded her post, you knew she was talking about J. Cole or Kendrick. Just the way that I gathered it.
Mm-hmm.
So, J. Cole took it upon himself to create a song called Snow on the Bluff. And he basically addressed her saying, and he never said her name, but he just basically said, I don't like your tone. And basically said, I feel you though. If you want us to stand in solidarity, then help us by telling us what to do. Some of us you might think are super intelligent. You might see a degree and think that we know how to do everything, and yet we really don't. Hold on, let's see. Right, okay. So...
Did he also, yes.
Yes. And so J. Cole's response garnered a lot of backlash where people were basically saying, how dare you try to police a woman, and how dare you try to silence a woman's voice and tell her how to protest. And it caused this whole thing online where everybody was bashing J. Cole. So then No Name goes and does a response. And I forget the name of her song, but she did a whole response where she was coming at him like, I never even said your name, but you talk about me, and you took all this time to write and record this song talking to me, but you could have been doing something for the community, and you weren't doing what you're supposed to do. And they started blasting J. Cole again. J. Cole never responded. Then, I think Friday or Saturday, she comes back out and she says, you know what? I probably shouldn't have responded. My ego got the best of me, is what she said. So this brings me to our topic. At what point, I gotta be careful how I say this.
I feel you. I feel you.
At what point do we just stop trying to be right all the time? At what point do we allow people to make mistakes? At what point do we allow them to absolve themselves from their mistakes by changing their mindsets or changing their behavior? At what point are we allowed to learn without being chastised? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I think back to Nate Parker. Mm-hmm. And I honestly believe the way that situation went down with him was still so uncalled for.
It was.
And I am not saying that the man is not guilty or whatever.
Right.
In my opinion, I will say that the courts found him innocent.
Right.
And it's very sad that the girl who accused him is no longer with us.
Right.
I don't know the ramifications of that. However, I also believe that that man was about to put out one of the most prolific movies that black people had ever seen before Black Panther.
Yeah.
Which was the Nat Turner story, Birth of a Nation. And I believe that because that movie would have shown black people in a light that we had not seen before, where we were revolting against slave masters and revolting against racism, it would have stirred up some real feelings in the black community of taking back what's ours. And I believe that the powers that be decided to put that story out right before this movie came out because they knew that if we canceled him, it would cancel the movie and then cancel those feelings.
Yep.
And so when you talk about
that movie, number one, was crazy powerful. Mm-hmm. Crazy powerful. Showed a different perspective of slavery that we have never seen before on film.
Right.
And to just piggyback really quickly, J. Cole's song to me wasn't even that bad.
It wasn't bad at all.
And
it was humbling.
Right. And this quick thinking that we live in a time where everybody gets super defensive for no reason. Instead of allowing yourself to calmly hear the other person, maybe even put yourself into their shoes so you understand their perspective on where they're coming from, and then make an educated response to what you've now absorbed fully.
Right.
But instead, we will hang on one word or one phrase that was said and won't hear the rest of it, and that person will be giving out everything that they have, and we'll hang and we'll hold that one little statement and nail them to a cross.
But you know, that's the story of my life.
Yeah.
Every time I write a letter, every time I write something in response to someone, they will pick out the one phrase that made them mad and completely forget everything else.
Right.
So they forget the context, they forget the point, they forget everything, and develop their feelings and now their rhetoric based off of the one phrase or the one word that they heard.
Yep.
And it's like, at what point do we start saying to ourselves, let's chill out.
Yeah.
Let's let someone be heard for a second and then see how we can learn from them and see what we're doing. Because let's be honest. Yes, as a society, we do like to see when our celebrities stand up for what we believe in. And we like to see when they stand in solidarity and they make their voices heard. But in the age of cancel culture, to me, the smartest thing to do as a celebrity, so that you can kind of keep your career and keep your funds, is to be very careful about how you put your words out there.
Right.
So if a celebrity decides, I'm going to take a step back and I'm going to let this thing go, I'm going to process this for a second before I just make some blanket statement, I think that's a smart thing to do.
Right.
Because what I don't want to do is say the wrong thing and then get canceled.
Right.
And we've seen that happen with countless people over the last few weeks.
Right.
Getting canceled for saying stupid stuff.
Right.
And having to retract statements and apologize and all that kind of stuff.
But even in that, people don't even allow people to grow, educate themselves, and change their way of thinking. Yeah. It's like we're so quick to just say, you're canceled, period, cut off, I don't want to have nothing to do with you. But nobody really wants that done to themselves.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now, if I now made a statement that offended 5 people in the room, and there's 8 people in the room, and 3 of them are just like, no, but it's okay, cool, like, but this is what happened, blah, 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 blah. Now all of a sudden I'm like, oh shit, I didn't think of it that way. The room now is not going to allow me to be like, okay, yeah, you know what? I was wrong. It's like, nah, motherfucker, you canceled. Boom, boom. I don't even want to hear it now. Like, why don't we allow ourselves to grow?
Yeah, and and I think that there's so many instances. Like I take Kevin Hart for example. He got his hosting gig for the Oscars taken away because he was talking about, or he made some jokes about gay people back in the past.
Oh yeah.
And he apologized for it. They still won't let him, live that down. And I saw that he did one of the most beautiful things this past weekend for Father's Day. And happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. I forgot to mention that too.
Word.
But he did something beautiful. On his Instagram page, all he posted were pictures of families from fathers that covered the gambit of race, white, black, Asian, Latino, everybody. And the one thing that I thought was really dope was he included families where there might be kids who are in the LGBT community. So he highlighted Magic Johnson's family. He highlighted Dwayne Wade's family. And a few other families where that might be the case in their family. Right. And there was no question about it. There was no statement being made like, I side with them or, nothing like that. It was just, this is Father's Day and I want to highlight fathers that love their families and their kids.
Right.
And these just happen to be some families that include people from the demographic that y'all think I don't like.
Right. Right.
And it's just interesting that we pick and choose who we allow to be beyond canceled and be able to have retribution. Let's say Nicki Minaj. Y'all made her number 1 breaking records this weekend. And yet, she barely says a thing about Black Lives Matter. She barely says anything in solidarity with the gay community. She barely says anything about her brother who is on trial for molestation of a minor. So, it's like, why do we give some people the pass and yet others we don't? And this brings me to the real crux of the conversation. I'm going to try to be careful again. And let me say we love everybody.
Okay.
I love my mama. I love my sister. Those are 2 of the most beautiful women that God has ever placed on the earth.
Amen.
But women, you are not always right. Just like the customer is not always right, women are not always right. Just like men are not always right.
Damn straight.
However, it seems that because of what's going on with the Me Too movement, people are getting things misconstrued. They hear women need to be listened and say women need to be automatically believed. I don't think those two make sense. That's just my opinion. They don't go together exclusively. Yes, women need to be listened to, and we need to hear your stories, and we need to be able to make sure that you have a voice. Some of those voices are not telling the truth.
Right.
The same way that a lot of black voices might not be telling the truth. There's an example of that might be going on right now today with someone that I know personally who had an altercation at a restaurant. And y'all might have seen it on my stories. And I kind of feel stupid that I started posting it because I know this person personally. I also know the character of this person that I've experienced firsthand. And it's not the most truthful person that I've met in my life. Right. So I don't know if this person is telling the truth about the situation. I don't know. And I jumped to believe them. And now that more facts and stuff are coming out, they might be lying.
Right.
So I'm not saying that I want there to be division. I'm saying that I want there to not be, because if we don't listen to each other, then we'll never know what the truth is.
Right.
If we don't at least give each other room to learn and room to expand and really be who we are, then we're never going to be able to really come together and fight the biggest monster in the room.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, like, it just seems that cancel culture, specifically towards men, I just don't get it.
Yeah.
And I would like to understand it better. I would like to know why it's such a thing, but I would also like to know what is the solution on the other side of that.
Right.
I'll take a break and let's go to the comments.
So everybody's just taking it in for the most part.
I said a lot. I did say a lot, but
they said
she don't get no pass. Who
gave
Some people gave Nikki a pass.
Some people do.
Whoever bought her single, that's giving her a pass.
Yeah. Z said I'm never right.
Mm. The only person who's right is Beyonce. Good night.
Right.
Miss Amore said, I am not always right. Amen. Hashtag I am not always right.
We're all not always right, and that's just what it is, but we got to give...
I personally am 98% of the time right.
We have to give room for research and everything. That's why I try not to jump on every trend as quickly. Some things will hit you immediately, but even with that, give yourself room to learn more details before you just follow the wave of what everyone else is doing.
Right.
Because even in the instance of J. Cole, after No Name posted her response, those same women that were like, J. Cole, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. How are you going to police a woman and tell her not to say anything? But the fact that she came back and said, hey, maybe it was too quick of me to jump the gun and make this assumption and say what I said. Nobody in those comments then were like, girl, you know what? I didn't even think about it. Bop, bop, bop. Nobody said anything, but you're quick to make a statement as soon as, and this goes for everybody, like, know your facts and give room. It just jumps to the main point of, especially if you have people that are following you. We live in a world now where social media and being an influencer and blah, 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 people are paying attention to people all the time. So it's like making sure that you are giving educated, factual information out there so people can truly form their own mind and decide whether or not they truly want to stand by whatever your opinion or viewpoint is.
But here's the thing, even if it's not factual, still give people the place to move. And I've been saying this for years. True. I've been saying this for years. Like, with this whole cancel culture thing that's going on right now, because it's created so much divisiveness, especially between the black community, whether it's between male and female, or whether it's between straight and gay, or whatever you have. If someone came to your house and looked in your closet, what would they find?
And what would you want people not to see anymore? Because that's no longer who you are.
And if you got canceled, how would you feel?
Right. There's one thing, because I know a couple of videos back, a couple of episodes back, I was telling everybody that I was reading a lot of Prince books. Prince said in this memoir that came out, he negotiated his contract, right, for this book, that if all the details in this publication that's listed, whatever, Prince's memoir, blah, 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 if he is no longer that person, he has permission to snatch that book off the shelf. And for me, that was so powerful because, number one, he's controlling his narrative, but he's also giving himself room to learn from his mistakes and grow into another person.
Can I say something real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You see this right here?
Right.
Okay. So today, I was working because I work from home, and for some reason I was just walking around my apartment, and I was like, "What is this song in my head?" And I kept thinking it was India, and it's not India.
Were you singing The Water?
It was The Water. Were you doing the same thing?
No, but I was thinking about it 2 days ago.
Okay. The song that she has called The Water started just going in my head, and I was like,
so
why
funny.
is this in my head?
This
is so crazy. We did not have this conversation. This was not planned. I swear to God. Okay.
I was thinking about that song literally 2 days ago.
And I'm like, I need to hear this song right now. I need to hear it. So then I played the song, and I was like, let me just play the whole unplugged album. Let me tell y'all how Lauryn Hill knew about all this shit.
Mm-hmm.
and was right the entire time.
She been new.
But we canceled her. And why did we cancel her? Because, number one, we started rumors about her giving all her money to some man that taught her all this stuff, and that's why she went crazy. We thought that she was dodging the government because she wasn't paying her taxes, and yet we applauded Wesley Snipes for doing it. We then got mad at her for showing up late to shows, which she wrong for. She is wrong for it.
Yeah, that's
and then we even
2
went
to 4 hours late to a show after I done paid such a
And then we even went as far as to cancel her because we found out that she wasn't as instrumental in the creation of the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill as it was purported to be.
Right.
And yet we overlooked all the messaging in what she was trying to say during this Unplugged album. And something that she said that stuck out to me today was, she was like, y'all just meeting this Lauryn Hill. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And she said, and
I'm
be
just
prepared.
This Lauryn Hill.
Yeah, and she said, be prepared, because you're going to meet a few more of me as we go along. Because I'm always evolving and I'm always changing. And then she says your favorite line, which is, if it's not growing, it's dead.
And that's literally where I got it from, because I loved that Unplugged album.
Yeah.
I thought everybody was not listening to those lyrics. Those lyrics, she was talking some stuff.
Yeah.
And about self-growth, self-value, you know what I mean? It was a lot of things on that project.
And there's so much stuff that she was saying that is so appropriate for right now. Yeah. As far as the way that people are waking up to things. But so while we're waking up, it's up to us to wake each other up as well.
And especially in quarantine chill.
Exactly.
Like, this is the time to really self-analyze, self-grow, you know what I mean, self-evolve. This is the time to take advantage of that, you know?
And it's like, if she can understand that concept of herself growing and learning, especially as a black woman and a black famous woman, then why can't we do that as just regular people? Mm-hmm. Like, there's so many things that I myself have still to learn, but there's so many places that I've come from. Like, you know, just from our friendship and our history, like, I'm a much better A-natural than I used to be. Like, much better. Yeah, yeah. And you're a much better Lenny Harold than you used to be. Right. And if we didn't afford ourselves and each other the opportunity to grow into those better people, we definitely would not be friends. We definitely would not be doing this live. Right. We definitely would not be working on as much music as we have, and things would be different because we're allowing each other the space to grow. Amen. And so all I'm saying is, I implore you, men and women, everyone that's involved, every single gender, every single race, every single whatever, allow each other the space to grow. Yeah.
It's so imperative. It really is. It really is.
Because when we're canceling people, we're canceling out things that we could possibly learn. Mm-hmm. We're canceling out different mindsets and different ways of life that we'll never know because we're being closed-minded. Yeah. You know, I think that there's so many people that we have canceled, and we need their voices right now. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I was about to say something real controversial. I was going to get cursed out.
I have a feeling where I think you were going to try to go, but don't do that.
No? Mm-mm. Do you know which one I was going to go to?
I don't know. I have a feeling. I have a very strong feeling.
Their first name is just a letter? Uh-huh. Okay. I'm just saying that man know how to write a song that speaks to people's hearts.
This is very true. This is very true.
Every time I play three-way phone call, I get saved all over again. And I'm just saying that in the Bible, God turned Saul into Paul. Look it up. Look it up.
But you know what? Because you brought it up, and now it's on my spirit. Mm-hmm. Number one, God can use anybody.
Thank you. That's the point.
Number one, God can use anybody. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, we all are struggling with something. Right. Whether it be depression, whether it be some form of an addiction, whether it be a food addiction, a sex addiction, or whatever, we are all dealing with something, but it does not mean that God cannot use you. Mm-hmm. And sometimes that's how you can also break yourself free. So, with that being said...
Can I give a quick analogy?
Sure.
All right. What if you saw a person on the street? What if you are the person on the street?
Oof,
and you're going...
Right.
Okay. And you're going through the toughest part of life.
Mm-hmm.
And you are ready to give up. You're ready to die. And just end it all. Somebody comes and walks past you, and they're holding a door open for you so you can go inside first. And they say, hey, have a great day. It just does something to your spirit.
Mm-hmm.
You feel like, oh my God, somebody sees me.
Right.
Somebody thought it nice, and thought of enough of me to be nice.
Okay.
And they held the door open for me. They told me to have a great day. We even might have had a little conversation about something stupid, but it brightened my day.
Right.
You go home. You look at the news. That person that just held the door open for you and was super nice to you just got arrested for being a serial killer. Does that change the way that they made you feel?
No, not for that moment.
Does that mean that the person who made you feel better about your life, were they not doing the right thing at that time by saying hi and holding the door open?
That is such a...
Because you never thought you were going to see them again.
That's such a mind expansion question.
Yeah. See, people, I believe, have to be comfortable and confident enough in themselves to accept what God gives them right when He gives it to you.
Oh, wow.
And sometimes there's no additive and there's no explanation.
I felt that one. That one. Ooh. All right.
Because you don't know what that person was about to do. You don't know that person had some, 4 girls in the trunk of his car. You don't know that.
We really don't know
anybody. We don't know anybody.
We really...
So when we are walking around or when we're typing around on our high horses on social media, canceling everybody left and right without any clue of what they're going through, just imagine if somebody canceled you.
It came
That's
to your
all
house
I'm saying.
And opened your closet and spilled all your tea on the internet. You'd be one pissed mother, shut your mouth.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why I'm staying so long on this topic. I just feel like it's important, especially now.
But it is important, especially in the Black culture.
Yeah.
And I don't care who doesn't like this right now, but we all need to be in. Because at the end of the day, we really truly need to come together in a particular way where we're supporting each other in a particular way, where we're understanding and hearing each other out in a particular way. Mm-hmm. We need to, as the Black community, stop ignoring our LGBTQ community. We need to stop ignoring our women. We need to stop ignoring our men that don't seem to be as masculine as we feel like should be men. We need to stop using there's so much, you know what I mean? And I know that there's a work that has to be done. We
have to stop compartmentalizing our Blackness.
Yeah, exactly.
We have to bring our Blackness together, which means as much as we need to not ignore these other groups, we need those other groups to not separate themselves.
This is also true.
We need them not to fight us.
But then they also need to feel like they're comfortable.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And so, like, there's such a mind expansion that needs to happen. And I do feel like in this time it's happening. Would I want it to move a lot faster? Yes, I'm selfish. I would love for it to move a lot faster. But I feel like if we truly start to work on ourselves and work on the first topic of let's not cancel everybody as quickly, but let's hear everyone out. Mm-hmm. So this way you can truly understand what that person might be struggling with. Then you know exactly how to assess the situation to go, oh, you know what? All this person really needed was to simply be heard. But all I heard was them complaining, and I'm like, here we go again, blah, 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 blah.
Okay, because this is the thing.
You know what I mean? Like, there's always little things to people.
Because what I've been seeing a lot on social media right now, I don't think anyone has forgotten about Breonna Taylor. What it is that we really don't know what we can do because everything that we've tried to do to gain justice for Breonna Taylor has been met with deaf ears. So when I see tweets and when I see things on Instagram like black men, you need to protect your black women, we are trying. We're doing our best. What it is that there are things that are in place that are blocking us from being able to do it effectively. You know, and it doesn't mean that all black men are not protecting black women. Maybe some aren't doing the best that they can, but it doesn't mean all. And I saw somebody else put up a tweet that said, you know, intelligent black men know that when we say all black men are trash, we don't mean all black men are trash. But then that's the same thing as saying that all lives matter.
Yeah.
No, what you want to address is that one dude that you know who called you a bitch one day. Then you want to address that one dude that you know that cheated on you or cheated on your girl or whatever, and you know he ain't shit. Address that nigga. Right. Then talk about the rest of us who are doing good things. Right. Because there are a lot of us out here who are doing good things and protecting our women.
And just to add to that, and I feel like if we would walk more in a state of gratitude, awarding the ones that have been doing what they need to do for the community, building us up, we can stop focusing so much on the negativity of it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And focusing on saying, giving the gratitude to the ones that have been doing something, it then encourages the ones that might be lacking in those areas to now rise up to those positions, because who doesn't want to be served gratitude?
Exactly.
Who doesn't want to say, job well done?
Like, we have Black Girls Rock. I think I've talked about this before in the podcast.
Yeah, this is a very sensitive subject between you and I.
It is.
Like,
and I feel like we have nothing that highlights and puts a spotlight on the positive black men in the world without there being some sort of scandal, without them trying to have some way to tear them down. And I love the fact that we are uplifting our black women, and we have full TV channels dedicated to black women. Where are those same accolades and that same care and attention for young black men? Right. Because we are being disproportionately killed against every other race and gender. We are incarcerated more so than any other race and gender. We are looked down upon more so than any other race and gender. Yeah. And so, while I love that we are highlighting and lifting up our black women, which is something that we should be doing consistently and doing it even more so, we still have yet to really put things in place that uplift our young black men. Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know if there's a Black Boys Rock organization.
Which there needs
to be. We don't have, the same channels, and I don't know how much I put my faith in BET or whatever, but, we don't have that. And right now, it's needed. Mm-hmm. It is sorely needed. Mm-hmm. And I think when we can celebrate each other, that's when we can stand in solidarity against these powers that be.
Because we are too quick as a community to point out the ones that are not doing right.
Exactly.
But we are so lackluster, and so lacking the drive of attention to those that deserve it. Yeah. You know what I mean? We need to make that pop culture, celebrating each other, as opposed to being like, oh, look who so-and-so did wrong again. Yeah. And now you group that whole whatever into one group, and now you have the good ones out here fighting. And this is that thing. I remember I was talking to a friend of mine at work, and she was like, I'm just looking for a good dude because I'm tired of all of these blah blah blahs out here, and they ain't good for nothing. And I was like, are you actually opening your eyes to the good dudes, or
are you a good woman?
Or that's my next thing. Are you opening your eyes to the good dude, or are you only seeing familiarity in little things, and you're automatically making that assumption that, here we go, here's another one. But that person might just have that one little thing, but they're a whole other person too on top of that character. Yeah. And then again, how are you presenting yourself in the situation?
Have you made the necessary changes and adjustments to welcome a good man?
Exactly.
Because you could get a good man, but you might not be a good woman, and then won't be able to keep that good man. And that perpetuates the thought process all over again. If you thinking that man ain't shit. So this is what I'm talking about. People got to do the work on themselves.
Yeah, and first. This is where it comes back to our initial thing. Yeah. This is the time to evolve. This is the time to grow out of these things. We're getting close to this quarantine. By the time fall comes around, everything is probably going to be a little bit more open than what it was. We ain't going to have, you know what I mean? Like, have you grown? Have you expanded your mind? Have you expanded your way of thinking? Are you a little bit more considerate than what you were yesterday? Mm-hmm. Are you a little bit more available to hear someone else out than what you were yesterday? Because sometimes that one mistake does not define the whole entire person.
God, imagine if a mistake that I made 30 years ago when I'm 36, imagine if a mistake that I made at 6 years old or 7 years old defined who I am as a person today.
And still, like, what? What?
Imagine a mistake that I make now that will then define me when I'm 60.
Right. Now it becomes, now it's a video game. Now you just hope you got enough lives to
exactly. Because I don't have any more do-overs left. Like, this is it.
Like, so it's like we got to give room for each other to have the opportunity to grow.
And again, when we acknowledge that we have room to grow, that makes us better, and it makes us look at other people better. And I know that for me, I have a big problem with forgiving and forgetting. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's the Virgo in me, but I don't forget anything. And I'm trying to learn how to do that now. And I'm thinking, I feel like with this last incident that happened to me last week that I won't go into right now, I'm able to forget it. Forgiveness, that's easy. Mm-hmm. Surprisingly enough, it's easy for me to forgive people for what they've done. But it's very hard for me to forget.
Yeah.
And I'm trying my best now to not let those things define who that person is to me, and then define how I treat other people based on that.
Wow.
You know, like,
and that's work.
Yeah.
And because of that, you have to give the room and the space to allow that person to work through that.
Did not know today's live was going to be a
okay. Listen,
I did not know that was going to happen today.
Listen.
Yeah.
Sometimes God moves in mysterious ways out here in these streets.
Because I wasn't trying to preach. I just had things to say.
Okay.
And, yeah.
But this was, like I told you before, like, this was a topic that has been on my heart for a minute now, too. You know what I mean? And especially watching, because I've been saying little things on my Instagram, and I've been putting up certain little things on my Instagram, but I still have not made my actual statement about all that's going on. It's because I'm still collecting information. I'm still collecting what exactly my viewpoint is. You know what I mean? On a platform like this, we spurred out kind of what we're thinking, so it's not yet the statement, but you hear my thought process. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so, like, I haven't made that statement because I don't feel like I can just yet, you know? And because I want to make sure that it's planting a seed that can eventually grow.
Exactly. And I hate to get preachy. But it's what my foundation is. The Bible says in James chapter 3.
Come on, James.
That I would not that so many of you be teachers. And he goes on to say, because the knowledge that you have that you're giving out is earthly. It is not from above, coming with love from God. And when you do go to speak to people, when you go to teach people, make sure that your words are from God. Because then you can plant the seed and you know that it'll grow because it's been watered properly.
Right.
But when you're just using the earth, all you're doing is just throwing dirt around. There's nothing else that's cultivating and making it grow. So a lot of that, it doesn't have to come from you always reading and studying the Bible or whatever, or even researching history and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes it just has to come from a place of love. Because, again, and I said this on my live last week, if you love God and you know that God loves you, then you know who you are and you can love yourself. Once you establish those two things, then you can love other people and you'll treat people differently. So why would you cancel someone out if you don't want somebody to cancel you when you feel like you love yourself?
Yeah.
And you going to cancel yourself?
And all you did was make a mistake.
Yeah. Are you going to cancel yourself out? And if you're not going to cancel yourself, don't cancel nobody else.
Yeah.
Maybe we're going to call this one hashtag cancel culture.
Okay.
Hashtag CCC.
All right.
That works for me.
Because, you know, we all, again, just to conclude, we all have our things
to talk about.
Yeah. We all have our things that we need to work through. We really do.
We were supposed to talk about Chloe and Haley's album. We're supposed to talk about Tiana Taylor. Oh, I did. Yeah.
Oh no, we talked about Chloe and Haley.
Yeah, but I wanted to make a mention that they debuted at number 16 on the charts, which I still think is fairly low. They only sold 25,000 copies. I don't know why that's even a problem for me when I don't really believe in the charts. They definitely deserve more, and I thought that more people would have bought the album. But you know, we're all streaming, so we're not buying things.
And that takes longer to calculate anyway.
Exactly.
So, hopefully it will jump them up because they're so deserving. These girls, and here's another thing, celebrating these two young women who write their own music, play instruments, produce, have a lot of their own ideas. Yeah. I don't know if you watched the title thing of them in the studio.
Not yet.
Oh, these little.
But see, this is what we're talking about.
I wish I had that knowledge at that age.
But this is why I want us to be able to celebrate each other, because as much as we talk about Beyonce and Chloe and Hailey and all things Beyonce, I want to talk about somebody else.
Yeah.
Like, I want to talk about a male counterpart who's doing the same type of moves that's really uplifting other black men. And they're just not too many to talk about because we don't hear about these stories.
Right.
You know? Right. But nevertheless, Amor said, are we still canceling that restaurant? Asking for myself. I'm not officially canceling them until I hear them make a statement. And I need them to make a statement soon, sooner than later, because they have not said anything in response. I know a lot of people have vouched for this restaurant and vouched for the owner, saying that he's not a restaurant, not a racist. Sorry, saying that he's not a racist, but it just seemed very, very ill-timed that they would post up a picture of them having the Black Lives Matter banner in their window and then posting a video of some black rapper to say, hey, we support, our community. So I need a statement.
It's probably because everybody thinks, everybody wants to save their locations, and he's probably doing a quick PR thing to try to be like, no, this is what it is, regardless of how many people he's told. But there's way too much conflicting information about this whole restaurant situation.
Right.
You know what I mean? And until stuff starts lining up and making sense.
Because trust me, I like their paella a lot. And I like their little beef dish that they have where it's pulled, and they have a chicken version. It's even better.
I'll eat none of this.
I know. Did I take you there for your birthday? Did they have no vegan options? Yeah. They have vegan options now.
But the atmosphere is amazing. Yeah. You know what I mean? They play
the bongos when it's somebody's birthday.
Right.
And their sangria is on point. Yeah.
What?
But yeah, I will wait to make my final decision about that restaurant.
Right.
Once they make a statement.
But
yes,
I do want to take a moment. If you guys have not listened to Teyana Taylor's album, please.
It is okay. This is another thing that I can't even really say what I'm going to say. Just read the Pitchfork article about Teyana Taylor's album.
I didn't read that.
Please read the article.
Okay.
Because it also contributes to the conversation that we were having about divisiveness. Yes. In a weird way, it connects. You just got to read the article. It's way too long for me, the album. It did not need to be 23 songs. It could have been a good 12 and I would have been fine. Yeah. But it's amazing.
It was a long album. Yeah. It was a long album. But that thing is fire.
Yeah.
That thing is really fire. And I think people don't give Teyana her just due because she's a dope creative. She's really a nostalgic type of artist for anybody who are 90s babies.
Right.
You know what I mean? That grew up on 90s music. And she hones that, she modernizing, whatever, y'all know what I'm saying.
Modernizes?
Yes, thank you. And then even when it comes down to just her artwork and her paying homage to people that have come before her, and it's just like, and all of these things that cultivated who she is as an artist, it's just dope. Like, Teyana to me is like saying thank you to everybody before.
And you know what's crazy? It's like, women are so dope, and y'all do some dope, amazing things.
Word!
And we will always be fans. We will always big y'all up. So don't ever think that we don't appreciate y'all. Don't ever think that we don't see y'all. We see you.
Amen.
What it is that we also want to see ourselves.
Yeah.
And we don't need to be superheroes in order to see ourselves.
This is also true.
Other things too. We're not just athletes. We're not just rappers.
Right.
Some of us sing.
Right. And we talk about that all the time. Like, we wish that, I hate to call him out, but we wish that Usher would have really taken that lane that Beyonce took. Yeah. You know what I mean? He would be our equivalent to Beyonce. And somewhere along the line, just like certain things just got out of whack. And after a while, you gotta take your mind out of making sure that you're staying in the trends and making the trends yourself. Right. You know what I mean? And B did that. She makes the trends herself. So
We only have like 2 minutes left.
Gotcha.
So before we go, we just want to, first of all, thank you for watching us tonight.
Yes,
we did have a little bit of a late start because of some technical issues, but they'll be fixed by next week. Next week is our season finale. Our season 2 finale. It is our 11th episode of the season. Like I said, you definitely do not want to miss it. We're going to be at a special time next week. It's going to start at 7 o'clock.
Yes.
Not 6 because we want you guys to be able to tune in.
Right.
So next Tuesday at 7 is our season finale. We will not be back live for Tired Tuesdays until September. So you do not want to miss this last episode.
Word.
We got some really special things, maybe even some special guests. We will see what happens.
Right.
In the meantime, please go to our Instagram pages to check out the Freedom 2020 single.
Word. All right, we got a couple of seconds left.
That's it. We love
more.
y'all.
I feel you with the Tiana thing.
Yes.
I want to come back and say something, but
we'll talk next week.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we love y'all for watching.
Love
Thank
you
you so
guys.
much. And tune in next week. You do not want to miss it. 7 o'clock. All right. Peace. Do I end it?
Yeah.
How do I do it?
You just want to hit the end. Oh, where is it?
It's over there on the other side. Okay. And